Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome again to another painting tutorial. I am just so thankful because I sound so much better now compared to my last two videos where I really sounded like super sick. Now I got better and actually almost got my 100% voice back. So I'm just so happy. Today I'll be doing a tutorial, a boat that is docked on the seashore. I don't know if it's the right word, docked on the seashore. 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 On a seashore, but it's on the sand part, okay? I don't know the exact or the right word for that, but I'm using docked, okay? So we will be using 24 by 36-inch stretch canvas. It's quite big. It's relatively big. You can definitely use a proportionate canvas size for yourselves or even a different shape of canvas. It's really up to you, okay? So the colors that I'll be using for today's tutorial will be listed in the description box below as always. We have, okay, light blue, primary blue, ultramarine blue, dark brown, titanium white, and light brown. So you can see we're doing a lot of blues today simply because we'll be doing the sky and the water part, the sea, okay? So the sea will be more on the background and the boat will be on the foreground, which is the more focused subject, okay? So I'm just so excited to start this now. I'm gonna sketch first the subject where things are gonna go. And for the sketch, I'll be using my ultramarine blue. Okay, we will be dividing the canvas into halves, okay, into halves. So I'm just gonna eyeball everything and the half will be here, okay? You can use a ruler to get the exact measurement, but I am not that type who, who is very um, like mathematically correct when it comes to my paintings. You can do that. Of course, a straight line is always better than a crooked line, but I enjoy my paintings more if I don't have to do those sort of things. Okay, so that's basically my half line. I will make some adjustments later, but this will determine the uh, where things are gonna go. So this will be the sky part and the water and the sand part. So let's start first with the sand part because I want this to dry first. So for the sand, okay, let's start with the color, the base color, which is dark brown. It's not the actual color, but I wanna darken it already. Okay, I'll be getting my light brown and mix it with the dark brown. I'm haphazardly doing this, not really following any um, direction when it comes to my brush strokes. Whatever direction will make it so much easier for you to finish covering the area. It's up to you. Okay. Don't forget to wet your brush so that you glide on the canvas smoothly. Discover this. I was even planning to background this without you seeing me do that, but I decided to just, show you how I do it because it's gonna dry fast anyway. I turn on the fan. I turn on the fan so that as we do the sky part, this part will be almost dry. I mean, dry enough for me to do the boat. Okay. Just gonna color. Just continue this underpainting. Again, this is the underpainting. This is not the final color. Just to let you know. If you're wondering if this is the sand color, this is definitely not the sand color. I forgot to mention that I'll be using the black color. Uh, I did not prepare the black. I'll be using black later. You know, black and white are indispensable when it comes to my paintings. So even if I forget, you know, it will be listed in the description box below. Definitely. I cannot do away with my black. Just removing those uh, blobs of paints that are dry because I'm using some old paints. I'm using some old paints of mine. Okay? I'm not throwing them away. Okay. All right. That would be the underpainting for the sand part. Okay, just the underpainting. Okay. Now I'm gonna get, as I mentioned, I'll be using my black. So I'll be getting my black now. And then while the paint is still wet, I'm gonna dab onto my black and white so that I get that gray color. And I'm gonna allow this gray color to mix with the browns. To mix with the brown. We want it to be grayish brownish color actually. Um, but I didn't want to mix them right away. I want some sort of brown to still appear on my canvas. So it's like layering your underpainting. See, it's actually drying pretty nicely simply because I turned on the fan. Okay. You can wet your brush just to make sure that it glides smoothly on the canvas. Again, we don't want a perfectly blended sand part. We still want some brownish color appearing, but we want to lighten some areas or a lot of it. Oops, my blue just mixed, but it's fine. You see that? The blue color. But it's okay. Actually, I kind of like it. So now I'm going quite in a diagonal direction so that I create some patterns on the sand part. I'm not doing it like super uh, obvious. Just a little bit of movement in this on the sand part. Okay. And I think I'm gonna allow this to dry before I move on to doing the boat. Okay, I'm gonna allow this to dry. Let's move to the sky part and the water part because we have to maximize our time. Okay, I'm gonna allow this to dry. Okay, it's pretty dark actually. We should be lightening this later. Okay, so now let's move to the sky part. I'm gonna use my ultramarine blue mixed with primary blue. Okay, and then I'm gonna color the topmost portion of the sky. Okay, since I'm using a pretty large canvas, it's taking me a while to finish. All right. Okay, just like that. And now I will get my sky blue. So we will be doing some gradient effect on the sky part. Okay, I'm using my sky blue, but I did not wash my brush. So there is some blending going on. And as we go near the horizon line, we'll be lightening it even more, okay? All right. From this point downwards, okay, I'll be adding white right here. I'll be lightening this part of the sky. I'm just getting my white, allowing the remaining paints to do the job for me. Okay, maybe I'll add a little bit of blue because the blue color is already running out. Okay, just get your white, add water, and you do this until you reach that horizon line. This, and you probably have noticed that my brush strokes are horizontal, slightly diagonal right here just to keep the blending going, but it's generally horizontal. Okay, nice sky. Okay, now I'm gonna like soften some areas right here that I'm seeing that need a little bit of blending. Just soften it. Okay. Okay, and then maybe just fix some areas as well. Okay, like this. Okay. I love the sky part. Don't you like it? Okay, I really like the sky part. Okay, now remember that we divided the canvas into two. I'm gonna darken this even more. Okay, we're gonna take advantage of the dark brown color. Okay, and we're going to add the C right here. Okay, so I'm gonna wash my brush out just to remove the white color because you know titanium white really affects the quality of the color. So I'm gonna use my ultramarine. Okay, I'm gonna use my ultramarine. I'm gonna add a little bit of brown to that so that it's dark. Okay, and maybe blue. I'm gonna mix with blue, primary blue. Okay, so I added brown and ultramarine blue and primary blue. As long as it's dark, okay, dark blue. And then I'm gonna get like 1/3 of this, or maybe 1/4. Okay, like this part. Okay, let's do the. I'm gonna use this color to darken this part. So this will be the sea or the ocean, uh, ocean or the water part. Okay. If some areas are still dry, just be careful not to smudge anything. You do a wet on wet technique. It's more of controlling your hands in applying the paint more than teaching you how to do it. Actually. So I'm gonna do again horizontal brush strokes like 1/4. Maybe I'm just gonna divide it first. Okay. Okay, like that. All right. Mhm. I love this one. Okay. Okay, nice. Okay, now I really want to allow this area to dry first before I move on to detailing it. Okay, let's go back to the sun part because it's almost dry because, it's almost dry. We did this first, right? Okay, I'm gonna wash my brush out. Okay, very nice. The sky, the water, and the sand. But then again, as I mentioned, the sand part, this color is not the actual or the final color that we want. So I'm gonna get my white and light brown, a little bit of black, okay. Now I'm gonna start doing a third layer of the sand. So I'm gonna lightly brush on this area. You can hear the brush, scrubbing on my canvas because it's like dry brushing it. I mean, it's damp enough for me to distribute the paint, but it's already dry. That the application creates some uh, markings that emulate the sand, or at least the color of the sand that I want. We will be using our palette knives when we detail this part, but for now, let's just highlight or lighten the sand part. Okay, I'm going diagonal right here, but still doing some dry brushing. Okay. As you can see here, I'm not really touching on this part because this area largely will be uh, painted over with the boat that we will be doing. Okay. So I'm gonna get back to a little bit of brown just to get back that brownish color because we don't want to remove the browns. Okay, slightly dabbing. We still want it to look brownish, but we don't want it to look like soil. Okay, we still want it to be looking like sand. Okay, I'll be getting a little bit of lemon yellow. I forgot to tell you that I'll be using yellow. Um, I'll be adding a little bit of yellow on the sand part just to give it some that light color. Okay, that yellowish color. You can always go back to this later, but um, we're still also waiting for some areas to dry. Okay, now let's go back to. Okay, I think we need to do some clouds, just a little bit. We don't want to do a lot of clouds today. Okay, I'm gonna use a dry brush for this one. So I'm gonna use my white, titanium white, and let's do a little bit of dry brushing across the sky part. Be careful if your paints are still wet up here because you don't want to smudge anything and we don't want to do a lot of clouds today. But we want to suggest some clouds, okay? Because it's a clear day, okay? It's not a cloudy day, but we still want to suggest some clouds, tiny bit. Just a little bit. You don't want to do too much. And then a little bit here near the horizon. I'm gonna get my sky blue, okay, just to make this area blue and also to make it neater. Let me check. Okay, I love the sky part. Oh my gosh. All right. Now, um, I'm thinking of doing the water part, but okay, let's do the boat. Okay, I'm so excited. That's how I do it. Like very, I don't plan ahead, really. Okay, so I'm gonna use a small brush just for me to be able to show you the sketch. I'll be dabbing onto my black and I'm going to start sketching the boat. Again, the purpose of this painting is to show you perspective. So the boat will appear smaller right here on this area, and it's going to look a lot bigger right here. This is to show perspective. Okay, so the boat will be right here. Okay, right here. That okay. It's drying so quickly. My paint. Okay, and then it should be here. Like that. And it should be smaller right here. And it should appear bigger as we go down. Okay, let me just make a little bit of correction right here because I made a little bit of mistake. Okay, nice. I love it. So we'll be doing some shadow. I'll be getting my black now. And a little bit of white just to gray it. Let's do a little bit of shadow so that we know already. So the shadow will be here. And I'm gonna get my black. It's gonna get darker down here. You know, suddenly just some memories. I know I don't want to sound like dramatic, but it's a little bit funny that some memories just played now, like in my head, like memories from years ago. I don't know why. It's weird. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's continue. I'm gonna darken this area. Okay. All right. Great. So this will be the shadow. Okay. Let's create some. Okay, like that. Now I'm gonna get again my gray color, but I'll be mixing it with my ultramarine. Okay, and then I'm gonna color this area with this color up to here. Remember, I made some corrections, so I'm gonna delete that now. Okay, like this. Okay, now I'm gonna get my black. Whew, this is a little bit tiring, in all honesty. It's a big canvas, and I'm sitting on the floor. So I'm gonna darken this part. Gonna mix it with dark brown, black and dark brown, so that it's not super dark. So I'm gonna color this with this color. Okay. I don't want to think too much. Okay, like this. And then I'm gonna mix again my ultramarine plus black plus white. Okay, but this time it's gonna be a little darker. Let's color this area. And also right here. I'm gonna get my white. Let's lighten that one because this is where the light is hitting. Okay. I'm gonna get my black. Okay, let's start underpainting this part of the boat. Nice. Okay, nice. Okay, I'm gonna allow this first to dry. And then let's go to some other details on the boat. So I'm gonna draw a line Oops, it's a bit thick. Right here. And like that. Like that. And then some brownish, yellowish colors right here. Then I'm gonna get my ultramarine plus black. Let's darken this portion. And then let's get some white. Okay, I'm gonna get some white. Okay, like that. Nice. Then using white. Okay, I think this is a little bit wet, but I can. Okay, I can still paint over it. So I'm gonna highlight the opening. Okay, like that. Then using some yellowish white color, I'm gonna create some details on the boat. Okay, like that. And I'm gonna lighten this part. I'm gonna get my black. Just create some like negative spacing right here. And I'm gonna darken this. Like that. And I'm gonna get a new brush. So I'm gonna get my white. Let's create some wood um, detailing. And then some highlights. Okay. And then some yellowish brownish detailing as well on the bottom part of the boat. I'm gonna lightly brighten this part of the shadow. Just a little bit. Okay, like that. Let's create some details. Mm, like this. Okay, I love it. We'll be doing some glazing over some areas of the boat so that we give it more perspective and dimension. But that would be later. Let's proceed to the water part because it's already dry. Okay. For the water part, I'm gonna get okay. I'm gonna get my light blue color, the sky blue that we have here. I'm gonna remove the excess water from my paintbrush and I'm just gonna go and lighten some areas. I know that this is just the background that provides the setting that suggests the setting. It's not even suggestive, it's actually telling us where the location is, right? It's not just a mere, what do you call this? A mere suggestion. It's an express image. It's an express, there's no doubt about it, like in other words. And it is therefore necessary that we also do a little bit of detailing on the water part. So I'm going to lighten, and I'm going to do a little bit of circular brush strokes on the water part, especially near the sand. Okay, like this. I'm going to get my primary blue, and somehow I'm going to add a little bit of primary blue colors in the water part to give it more dimension and depth. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to get my white. I'm going to start creating some suggestions of waves. We will be doing, or we will be using our palette knives later. Okay, for now, let's just start with the paintbrush, because it's always good to still use the paintbrush even if you know that a palette knife will be used, because the two tools, they have this different way of providing details. We start with the brush, and then we do the palette knife. I'm gonna get my my light blue again. Right. Oops. It's too light. Again, some light blue right here. Okay. Now using the back of my palette knife, so I'm gonna use my palette knife. Now I'm gonna create some waves. So I'm gonna dab onto my white. I'm gonna use the back of the palette knife, and I'm gonna create some waves. Right here. Oops. You can see some. I'm gonna use a little bit of gray. And I'm gonna apply some of that color on the distant, most distant location of the waters. I'm also applying some gray colors because waters are not just white. They're not actually white, right? They are a combination of sand and some other things in the sea, right? Cannot be just pure white. It is not a drinking water. Just see. Okay, this is very, very nice. Okay, now let's add some more details on the sea. So I'm gonna use a smaller brush. Okay, and I'm gonna get my ultramarine plus black. I wanna darken it. Ultramarine plus black. Make sure it's dark, okay? And then I'm gonna go under the waves. Okay, if it's still wet, wait for it to dry or paint carefully. Just go under. And I'm gonna have to fix this area. Okay, I really love this one. Oh my gosh. I love it, guys. Okay, now that I still have this color on my palette, I'm gonna darken. Okay, it's drying too quickly. I'm gonna darken this area. This. I'm gonna slightly darken some areas on this. It's not soil. Sorry, it's not soil. It's the sand. But okay, I'm gonna darken it a bit. And then I'm gonna apply some markings on the sand. It's like someone uh, stepped on the sand. There are some footprints, markings, perhaps rocks, right? I like it. Okay, let's darken. Okay. And now some light blue. Gonna get my light blue. Again, let's dry brush, all right? Let's not apply too much paint or too much water. I'm gonna brighten this part. It's too white. Can't understand my paint sometimes. Tell me if it's just me. I know it's not just me. Sometimes you grab your paint and it's just too bright or it's too dark. Okay, like this. Some light blues. Okay, and we will apply that color as well right here. And then we're just gonna darken under the wave. So using some ultramarine black. I'm gonna do a little bit of darkening right here. Very subtle, but it should be there. These subtle details, sometimes while they are not super obvious, our brain recall will always associate this with reality if you apply small details like this one. See? Love it. Okay. I'm gonna apply the same color on some areas just to make it look more realistic. And you see the coherence here? The colors of the sea are also the colors of the boat. If you noticed, the main purpose is to make some coherence between the subject, the main subject, and the whole picture. I love it so much. Okay, so let's make the boat more rustic. Gonna get some gray colors. I'm gonna mix my white and black. And again, let's remove the excess paints from the paintbrush. Let's just create some dry brushing technique. Okay, so I'm gonna use this gray color to apply on the boat, especially this part, like this. Okay, now I'm gonna get my black and I'm gonna create some markings right here. Okay, and even here on the boat, okay, like that. Okay, I'm gonna get my palette knife. I'm gonna dab onto my black, use the back, and I'm gonna scratch it on the boat to make it more realistic. Oops. If the blue color if another color mixes, it's fine. That will only make the painting look more natural. Okay, now I'm gonna use a bigger brush. Okay, I'm gonna get my black. Okay, I'm gonna water this down black. And I'm gonna color the the boat very lightly on the left side. This is to darken the left side. Now with the white, let's brighten this part. Some markings of white. Right here. Okay, I'm gonna use my white to brighten this part of the sea or the sand part. To brighten this. Just to know or just to tell the audience where the light is coming. And then using some black, I'm gonna darken this part. This is like the platform where the boat is docked. Okay. Then I'm gonna make some light gray color. Oops, it's maybe super dark. Down here on the shadow part. And I'm gonna fix the shadow portion. Yes. And then using a small brush, let's outline some details. Let's outline the shape of this part of the boat. And also this. Okay, I really like this one. Okay. Let's apply some gray color inside the boat. Like that. So a little bit of light. Then some markings. And we're going to outline the mouth of the boat. Okay, like that. I absolutely love this one. Okay, now let's go back to the sand part. We're almost done. I really want to like brighten it. Okay, so I'm gonna get my yellow and brown or dark brown, white. Okay, and again, I'm gonna remove the excess water from that, and I'm gonna start um, brightening some areas. I'm gonna add white. I feel like it's too yellow. Okay, so I just brighten it a bit. Also right here. Right? It's nice. I'm gonna use my palette knife. I'm gonna dab onto my white plus yellow and brown. So there will be, okay, like this. Like the markings will help us achieve that look. Mm, let me check. Okay, I like it. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna use this on the boat as well. And you can definitely go back to the water part if you want to give it more highlight, especially the waves. I'm gonna go back, try to brighten a bit some waves. Okay. Can add some white markings on the sand. And of course, the boat. Okay, now using some black, let's create, let's recreate the the wooden panels, the wooden markings on the boat. Okay, like that. Okay, that's nice. My gosh, this is so good. I'm just gonna make some adjustment here. Going to make the platform a little wider. Okay, like that. Okay. Yeah, I really love this one. My goodness, I love this one. Okay. So I'm gonna sign this now. I truly enjoy this one. I feel like going back to the first time, to the very first time I did a tutorial because it was also a seascape. So I'm gonna use my brown since I do have a lot of brown, and I'm gonna sign right here. And we're finished. Wow. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you're painting along with me. If you like this video, let me know in the comment section below. If you're painting along with me, let me know in the comment section below as well. And see you in my next one. Bye, guys. Love you.